Dieser Anzug bedeutet etwas. Er schützt nicht nur deinen Körper, er schützt auch das Universum.
Bereit, Captain Lightyear?
Bereit wie nie zuvor.
Bis zur Unendlichkeit?
Und noch viel.
Es gibt eine Sicherheitsverletzung.
So, first of all, thank you so much for your time. Angus, I stumbled upon an interesting tweet of yours. You tweeted a rejection letter to an application you sent to Pixar in 1996. And now you directed a movie about one of Pixar's most beloved characters.
Yeah.
What did that cancellation do to you that we see you here today?
Well, I think it really was when they usually say in those type of things, we don't have a position for you at this time. And they didn't. And then at the end of the year, they actually did have positions that they needed. And I was able to reapply and it ended up working out. So it's certainly an interesting story and a dream come true. It's not a meteoric rise to fame. 25 years is a little bit slower, but it gives, I guess, the tortoises of the world hope. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
hope.
That's a good word. And I also read something exciting from you, Galen. You were involved deeply in the Toy Story franchise, and you saved Toy Story 2 on your maternity leave. Can you tell us more about it?
Sure. Yeah, I actually had gone back to work, and I wanted to be able to have dinners with my my young family. And so I had a machine that I would bring in once a week and download the film and bring home. And yes, one day somebody accidentally deleted the film in its entirety from the main servers. And we thought, okay, that's okay. We can restore it from backups. And then the backups have been failing for months and we had no film. So we brought the computer back in, and then it was the team of people who worked 36 hours to take that film and bits and pieces from everybody's computers for the last week's worth of work and reassemble a movie. And there we have it.
Wow, that's some incredible teamwork.
Yeah.
Well, let's come to Lightyear. And this is something different for Pixar since it gives Buzz Lightyear new character dimensions. It's not the toy version. Buzz is a real human being with the new character aspects that fans don't know. So how have you approached developing Buzz for Lightyear and maybe new audiences?
Well, I think Buzz in the Toy Story world is very much a toy, and he has this dynamic with Woody. He's always he's a side character to Woody, and he's often the comic relief. When we're making him a main character, and the tone of this film is not a Toy Story movie. It's a little different. It's a little less irreverent, a little more serious, a little more of a straightforward sci-fi action adventure. And so vocally, we wanted a character for Buzz that was a little different than the voice we had for the Toy Story. So that's where Chris Evans is really where we thought would be a good balance of all the elements needed for this film.
Danke sehr. Wir bringen alle nach Hause.
Komm schon, komm schon!
Brauchen Sie meine Hilfe?
Negativ.
Sind Sie sicher?
Ich bin Buzz Lightyear! Ich bin mir immer sicher!
Oh nein.
And this is also such a big, heavy task since Toy Story is such a beloved franchise. How challenging was it to produce a Toy Story movie that doesn't feel like a Toy Story movie at all, thinking about the visuality and tonality?
We don't really think of it as a Toy Story movie. We think of it as a sort of separate thing. Angus once used the word sidequel, which just means, I don't know what a sidequel.
I invented a word.
You invented a word.
It did not catch on.
It's not a good word.
It's not bad.
It's not, no, you've done better. We really wanted to tell a thriller in space. That was what we were looking to do. And Buzz is a toy that had a really interesting space-related backstory, or so we thought. That's at least how we all viewed it at Pixar. You know, we didn't. Toy Story 2 alluded to that in the opening sequence. That maybe that was, you know, that video game was inspired from something. But we always knew that Buzz was connected to something else, right? In this case, we said it was a movie, thriller, sci-fi thriller. who doesn't want to make a sci-fi thriller, right?
Mhm.
It's fun.
And yeah, you said it. Lightyear is a serious science fiction thriller, and there are so many resemblances, which reminded me a lot of other great sci-fi genre films. Were there any specific films that served as major inspirations for you? Which one can we spot here?
Well, there's certainly the sci-fi films from 1977 to 1987 were a chief inspiration tonally. I tried not to, and visually, but I tried not to lean too hard on any one of them. I didn't want to stop our movie cold so that you felt like there was a reference. There's little things here and there, little nods, but I really wanted to make this be its own thing that felt like it was in the vernacular of that kind of movie.
Pixar stands for innovation, and I know that with every new Pixar movie comes a new innovative aspect in technology or design or even story. What was the big innovation in Lightyear for you? And was it really like to infinity and beyond, or were there boundaries for you?
Oh, there's always boundaries. I mean, first and foremost, there's the 90-minute boundary, right? Where we are trying to tell a story in a time allotment that a child can sit through. And I don't know how much cinema you've been watching lately, but movies are getting really long. I can barely sit through. So 90 minutes it's a challenge, especially when you tackle something more like a thriller, the scope of the film that we were trying to tell. So that was certainly a story challenge. The scope in general, it's a big film. We're doing more effects. We've got more complexity. There's just a lot in this movie. That was definitely technically challenging for us. There's always new technology, but I don't know how much people want to hear about cloth technology or environment technology. But there's so many interesting things that went into it. Really, I think the exciting thing is that we have a lot of sci-fi fans at Pixar, and they were all able to come together for this film and do the kind of work that they haven't had the opportunity to do before. And everybody was really charged up and made a lot of really, really fun stuff.
Great. So now we've seen Lightyear as a real space ranger. I'm just a little sneaky. Can we expect a Western about Woody's roots? Can we hope for more movies in some terms like that?
Perhaps I could say there's no plans for that, but it's been asked before in our press interviews, so maybe, I don't know, but it won't be with us. I think we're really interested in Buzz and the sci-fi adventure of it, not necessarily the extension of the Toy Story stories universally.
Buzz Lightyear Logbucheintrag. Meinetwegen sitzen wir alle auf diesem Planeten fest. Ich muss das wieder in Ordnung bringen.
Hallo Buzz, ich bin Sox. Meine Mission ist es, dir zu helfen und ich werde meine Mission nicht aufgeben.
Ich gebe meine Mission auch nicht auf.
Großartig. Möchtest du ein Törtchen mit Zuckerguss, um das zu feiern?
Negativ. Buzz Lightyear Logbucheintrag. Ich bin bereit, endlich die Mission zu beenden.
Mit wem redest du?
Niemandem. Es geht los.
Werden wir abstürzen?
Nein! Naja, theoretisch schon.
Das war sehr furchteinflößend und ich bereue es, dich begleitet zu haben.
Was ist hier los?
Runter! Die Roboter!
Was?
Ich hoffe, du bist einsatzbereit, denn alles, was uns fehlte, war ein Pilot.
Wozu?
Um das Zugschiff zu vernichten. Ich habe einen Plan und ich habe ein Team.
Habt ihr Munitionstraining?
Teilweise.
Ihr seid also nur Anfänger.
Oh Mann, wären wir wenigstens das.
Bis zur Unendlichkeit.
Soll ich an deinem Finger ziehen?
Fall nicht drauf rein.
Piep, bup, piep, bup, piep, bup.
Bereit.
Hörst du das?
Ich höre nichts. Oh doch, jetzt schon.
Du da, schnapp sie dir!
Das verstößt gegen meine Bewährungsauflagen.
Mir ist schlecht, ich brauche eine Tüte. Nein, nimm deinen Helm, der tut's auch.
Lasst uns die Mission beenden.
Wir werden verfolgt von einem riesigen Roboter. Ich kann alles schaffen!
Kannst du mir bitte nicht ins Ohr schreien?
Oh, ja.
Was ist das für ein Geräusch? Hey, mach meine Katze nicht kaputt.
Es gefällt ihm. Er schnurrt.
Sox, gefällt dir das?
Oh ja.
Huh.